Well, I'm down to step 7. I've got my sample, several coats on my sample. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a flash coat on it. This will hold it down and keep it from rubbing off on your hands and everything. Said you could use lacquer, spray lacquer, you can. This is a Krylon matte finish 1311. It's got hot solvents in it. It dries just as soon as you spray it on there. But this flash coat, you just want to barely, quickly, just spray a little for the first time. Just spray a little dab on it. Just make a very light coat, and then I'll dry it with a hair dryer, and then we'll get back and go to the next step. Well, I've got my sample area finished. Some people use fabric dye to come up with these colors. I use a product called Trans Tint, and in this instance I used several drops of red and maybe 1 drop of black, and then a little bit of water. You gotta have a little water in there, not too much. And so I'm satisfied with the color. I'm going to go on to the next step now, putting the starburst on off the handle area. So we'll see how that looks. Okay, my sample looks good right here. I'm happy with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and apply the first coat. And let's just say that where I'm holding it is the handle. And what you want to do, you always want to brush down so it don't run down on you. So if I can get down here where you can see, I'm just gonna take it and now I'm just gonna wipe some of this off on the side of the billet here, and then I'm gonna take my dryer brush and I'm gonna just lightly stroke it down. Get those streaks out of it. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let it dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna take a hair dryer and dry that out, and then I'm gonna repeat this several times till I get the depth, get the tone that I want, and then we'll go from there. Well, what I forgot to mention is, assuming this is the handle, when you put the stain on there, you always want the limb pointed up so it'll run down and not run that way. Now that I've got my stain on, I've got it flashed in. Now I've got to deal with this transition point. People do this different ways because it's not going to be real nice and smooth. Well, it came out better than I thought it would. I've got some choices right here. I could take my scraper and just clean it up straight across, or I could put a little some silk thread or something around it, or sinew or whatever at this transition point. But I'm going to do something different that I came up with, and it involves using a scraper. It's going to be a little harder for me to do, but I'm just going to take this scraper and I'm going to just I mean, you know, I could do it better if I wasn't trying to hold it up here like this, but anyway, this is what I've done. It gives it a kind of a flamey look. I like it. So what I'm fixing to do next is put a coat of tung oil on it, and I'll show you what it looks like. I said a while ago I was going to put a coat of tung oil on it. I didn't mean tung oil, I meant true oil. But now see, I do have a coat of true oil on it, and gives you a little bit of an idea of what it's going to look like. I'm going to call it a starburst. Somebody else called it a starburst, and I like that. So this is the way I do it. There's other ways, and if I find a better way, then I'll change for sure.